Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So Top Gun Maverick, or Top Gun 2, is finally here. And this is a movie that I thought would never get made because Tom Cruise has been trying to get a sequel to the original Top Gun made for years now. And originally, whenever I heard that they might be making a sequel, I thought it was a really bad idea because the original Top Gun, it is an iconic movie. It is basically a lightning in a bottle, and I kind of thought making a sequel would just be horrible. It would ruin the original. Plus, if they did ever make a sequel, it'd be pretty much just a cash grab. And so now that Top Gun Maverick is here, what did I think? And so the general story here is that we come back to peak Maverick Mitchell many years later, and now he is basically a test pilot for these really super secret military programs because he still is one of the best pilots out there. But due to some circumstances, he's no longer going to be able to do that, and he's actually now going to be teaching other Top Gun pilots for a very secret and super dangerous mission, which kind of brings it back to where he was before when he started as a Top Gun pilot. And at the same time, a lot of his old history and past comes back to him, specifically Goose's son Rooster, and that is the overall story. And of course, there's going to be a lot of flying involved here. And now let's go ahead and get to the things that Top Gun Maverick does so well. So let's start off with the first thing that I absolutely love about this movie, and that is the experience. So many modern films nowadays rely heavily on CGI effects, and even though it has gotten better over the years, at least for me, it'll never compare to real practical effects. And I kind of thought Top Gun Maverick would go the same way and use a lot of CGI, but nope. They went old school, and I'm so thankful that they did, because practically most of the effects that you see here, they're real and practical. Now, Tom Cruise is an experienced pilot, so he's flown for many years, but in this case, the other actors involved, they actually went through flight training as well, and it really heightens the overall experience. The level of adrenaline, excitement, it really can't be matched versus using CGI. And then another thing that this movie does so well is the overall cinematography, the soundtrack, the effects, everything here. It just really brings into this movie experience. And this is one of those rare movies where you just have to see it in a movie theater on the biggest screen and the best sound possible, because Top Gun Maverick truly is an experience that you should experience. And so the second thing that this movie does so well that I did not expect is the story. Now, the very first Top Gun, it wasn't a complex story. It was very simple. It was all about having fun. And if the second one did the same thing, I would definitely be okay with that because it is an enjoyable movie. However, they actually went a step further. And so in this case, the movie is about Top Gun, but it's also more about relationships. Specifically, Maverick, Iceman, and Rooster. And I myself really thoroughly enjoyed the whole dynamic between Maverick and Iceman. Even though Iceman wasn't in the movie much, the moments that he was there with Val Kilmer playing this role, it was absolutely incredible. I love that part. And then Maverick and Rooster, it really brings back a lot from the first movie, but at the same time, it really brings a lot forward as well, because all of these relationships are the key points of this movie. It's the most important thing, and I'm so glad that they did that. Plus, this is the one story that really pays homage to the original movie. So it does nostalgia in a very respectful way, and I really did appreciate that. And then another big thing that this movie definitely did right was Tom Cruise. I was really happy that Tom Cruise returned in this, and honestly, it didn't look like he aged much at all. He fits right back into his original character, and I don't think anybody else could play Maverick except Tom Cruise. So he brings something to this movie that is very special. And as with anything that Tom Cruise does, he really puts a lot of himself into this, and you could see it on the big screen. And so that's another thing. Tom Cruise is just awesome in this movie. And then the final big positive with this movie is that it's simply just refreshing. With so many comic book CGI movies and movies that are more like cookie cutter, I'm so happy that Paramount, Tom Cruise, and the entire crew really took a risk on making this type of movie, because it's one of those movies that you don't see very often anymore. And it makes sense because a lot of the movies that make the most money are these CGI comic book movies. And so it's really refreshing for me to see all of these filmmakers, studios, and everybody involved take a chance on something and giving the viewer an experience that they'll likely never forget. Set up your business easily and legally with incredibly affordable rates at Incfile. Join more than 500,000 businesses and launch your business today. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below. Now, when it comes to the negatives of this film, honestly, I just wish there were more movies like Top Gun Maverick. And this is one of those movies that I'll revisit over and over again, very similar to the first movie, but at the same time, it also gives me hope that other movies in the future do something just like this. So if you actually had any thoughts on Top Gun Maverick or the previous Top Gun, be sure to leave it in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my action film reviews, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you're a creative geek like me, and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators Group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators Group.